Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boyos and girls alike. It is Thursday, it is 9 PM GMT, which means it is time to air our very first episode of the GOG.com podcast, or as we're going to affectionately call it from now on, the GOGcast. Right, now, before continuing, I'd like to take a moment to remind people that they can find all of their GOG-related information by typing in GOG.com into all of your favorite social media outlets. That is Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and even Instagram. Yes, we have an Instagram channel. I don't know why, but we've got an Instagram channel. Also, don't forget that for all your Twitch-related updates, in regards to Twitch streams, follow GOG.com Twitch. That's all one word, GOG.com Twitch on Twitter. This will give you all of the information you want about our wonderful streams as and when they happen. Of course, don't forget the core ethos of GOG. Games that are free from digital rights management. A complete games boutique stocked with over 1,300 DRM-free games, ranging from time-honored classics like the original Wing Commanders, Ultima Underworld, and the Tex Murphy games, and even a couple of my personal favourites like Little Big Adventure and Planescape Torment, to more modern releases like The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and the Kerbal Space Program. So, kicking things off, we are going to go through our running order. Now, our running order this evening, back in Operate OES, essentially, after introducing our guests, we'll move on to what has been released recently on GOG. Now, as it's been the holiday period recently, we're going to include a few extra titles in there, so we've got a little bit extra to talk about. After talking about the releases, we'll move on to what each of us have been playing and generally descend into the rabbit hole that is gaming and nerdy goodness. Following on from that, we'll be answering viewer questions that have been taken from Twitter. Don't forget that if you want to ask us a question during the show, you can do so during chat, during that segment, and we'll try our very hardest to answer them. Failing that, you can always ask us questions through Twitter, through myself, at ScreamingJoypad, and I'll just get the information up there, using the hashtag GOGcast. Now, after the questions, there will also be a raffle for a $9.99 gift code from GOG.com. And after starting this raffle, you'll have a good while to enter it whilst we basically natter on about set general gaming topics until we close out the show. So, without further ado, let us get this show on the damn road. Welcome to the first official GOGcast. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's just me. I've cut everybody else off. It's fine. No. Okay, so let's introduce our guest. First and foremost, if I can again operate OBS, is our illustrious leader, Outstarwalker. If you bear with me just a moment, I shall unmute people. Everybody is now unmuted because I'm a professional and I can do this. Okay, Outstarwalker, hello.
Hello everyone, hello boys, hello peeps, and welcome. Long time no see.
Excellent stuff. I do hope you're doing wonderfully well this evening. We also have the master of space and time himself, Memories in 8-bit, directly from his stream 30 seconds ago. It was only 30 seconds. It wasn't like 15 minutes, I swear.
Good evening. It's so good to be back. It has been way too long.
Wonderful stuff. And, of course, last but by no means least, is MegapiemanPHD. Hello, MegapiemanPHD.
Hello to you too.
Excellent stuff. Right, I'm just going to get everybody's name tags up on screens, which are your Twitter handles, which should, in theory, now, if I didn't have to change my bloody layout a second ago just before going online, they're now in line, so there you go. Right, so this is it. This is the first official GOGcast. I'm so excited. I've been excited about this all damn day. I cannot tell you how excited I am by this. Let me just double check. Literally 0 dropped frames so far. I'm so impressed with my internet right now.
Save the frames!
Save the frames indeed. That's a very nice reference.
Pieman needs more volume. Demands the chat.
I've been watching a lot of AGDQ, so save the frames, kill the animals, and all that other nonsense.
Pieman, turn your volume up a touch, mate. Turn your volume up a touch.
The volume's the same as it was before.
Well, we can hear you. However, chat can't seem to hear you properly, so turn up.
Okay, give me a second.
Thank you. Find your volume controls. Also, professional. See, if you do this, it makes it look like you're professional without actually being professional. Anybody who has a beard and a GOG hoodie is absolutely... that's fine. I'm licensed now. It's okay. I have the official GOG beard.
Whether or not my audio is peaking, because it tends to do that when I speak loudly.
I will try and let you know if you peak on
When I turn
stream.
my
Don't worry
volume
about
up.
it.
It's very embarrassing to peak on stream.
Yeah.
You get banned for that.
I think there are more embarrassing things you can do on stream.
For example.
Yeah. For example, I'll start. What do you mean? What sort of things do you get away with on stream?
We'll leave that to your imagination.
I don't need to. I've got the local recordings. It's okay. Anyway, moving swiftly forwards. Yeah, so let's talk about the new releases on GOG. Now, like I've said, we're kind of going to mix things up a little bit. So we've got a bunch of stuff that has been released in the last week, which is probably what we're going to be normally doing in these podcasts. But also we've got stuff from before Christmas. Now, obviously, Merry Christmas for anybody who celebrated Christmas. If you don't, hope you had a wonderful time with your family. If you celebrate, that sort of thing. And also New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. 2016, the year of GOG. So, the games...
Year of the GOG, I like it.
The year of the GOG, yeah. So the games we currently have...
That's the year when we get Valve games on GOG, right?
That's what, sorry?
That's the year when we get Valve games on GOG, right?
Yeah.
Half-Life, Fortress, stuff. Portal.
Suddenly Portal 1 just appears on GOG. Oh my days, can you imagine how
Yes,
the internet would
GOG,
explode?
Millions.
Yeah.
I heard there are going to be exclusives for GOG, actually.
Yeah. Especially Half-Life 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ricochet 2, everybody! Ricochet 2!
Yeah, that's the one everybody's waiting for. That's definitely the
Alien
one
Fate
people
2.
are waiting for.
Alien Swarm's getting another one!
Guys, if you can't hear Pi, then you're losing a lot, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You can hear me.
Yeah, I am keeping half an eye on chat. If people genuinely have any issues with volume or anything like that, just tag me at ScreamingJoypad in it. So, yeah, let's talk about the games that have been released recently. So I've got a list of games in front of me, and I will be perfectly honest, I know little about most of them. However, I know Outstar, and I am pointing in the right direction this time, which I'm quite impressed at. Outstar knows quite a lot about some of them. So I'm going to hand over to Outstar right now to talk about some of these games that have been released. Go!
Okay, so I was actually burdened with the great purpose of talking about Paradox games, because I'm kind of sure that none of the people here are actually the people who would play those games on stream. I don't know, guys, if you actually played the Paradox games that were released recently, or maybe any Paradox games in the past.
I'm not gonna lie. I haven't played these recently released games until like the 2 we added that were before Christmas, and we basically added those so I had something to talk about. I haven't played any of them. I don't know what they are.
Okay, so I will tell you.
Menu strategy games. I don't.
This is why you have me here. So I will actually tell you what the games are. So basically, the Paradox releases recently that went out on GOG, they're pretty interesting, and I think it's a pretty cool topic to talk about them, because a lot of them are actually games which are somehow connected to the very popular Paradox titles in a way you wouldn't actually think they are. For example, Sengoku. Sengoku is the game that you can actually see on GOG. If you see some Japanese VM real-time strategy, then it's probably Sengoku. And it's a game that was said by a lot of commenters, a lot of reviewers, that it was actually a prototype or kind of a better version of Crusader Kings 2. What is interesting about this game is, yeah, it's kind of like there are not that many features in Sengoku as you have in Crusader Kings 2, because there is no tech tree. But there is a very interesting honor system, and basically I think it's a pretty interesting game to play, and I was actually planning to maybe do a race stream of that, but I'm really afraid to touch any Paradox games because they're creepy. But yeah, it's basically a game set in the 16th century Japan. So you have this Sengoku period. You are a mighty leader who can actually, you know, try to get your daughters married, and the parents are saying no, so you send ninjas to kidnap the daughter, and then you start a dynasty and you destroy the clans, and then you steal another daughter for your second son, and the parents still say no, so you kill them. And yeah, it sounds pretty good. So this is why I really wanted to play this game. Another game.
Sounds like growing up in England, in full fairness. So.
Yeah, I also checked what the people on GOG say about Sengoku because I didn't play the game before, so I just wanted to tell you what the actual gamers said. It's actually easier than other Paradox games, so probably if you want to start from something easy, you could probably take Sengoku because it's not as complicated as Crusader Kings are and could be pretty good. Another things about the Paradox games, For the Glory and Darkest Hour, Hearts of Iron game. Both of those games, which is pretty cool, are based on the mods for the games. And I think For the Glory is the game that we should totally talk about. Are you guys familiar with Europa Universalis 2? Or any of the Europa Universalis games?
I know all about them.
Cool. So basically, Europa Universalis 2 was considered the best of Europa Universalis titles back in the days. I remember when Europa, because I actually know that because my husband played a lot of these games and my family actually was pretty into them. I was really afraid of those games to play them myself, but I was knowing all the stuff around them. So basically, Europa Universalis 2 was considered the best. Then Europa Universalis 3 came out. It was a failure, and everyone wanted to go back to Europa Universalis 2. But the additions, the expansion packs for Europa Universalis 3 actually made this game pretty good. And now you can actually buy the Europa Universalis 3 complete pack. So I totally suggest you, if you really want to play Europa Universalis 3, check out the complete pack with all the expansion packs. But about For the Glory. For the Glory is the mod for Europa Universalis 2 that is adding widescreen, major tweaks to the rules and AI, better user interface. There are, I think it was 10,000 historical events in the game. So basically a lot of things.
10,000 historical events?
10,000 historical events.
Has there been that much history? Oh my days. Surely that's like Dawn of the Dinosaurs to fueled like now.
That's the question I have to ask.
Yeah. I went to public school.
Can I play as the dinosaur faction and conquer Europe? I want a
dinosaur faction.
Can I do that?
I'd be totally all over that.
What you can do in the Darkest Hour, for example, because Darkest Hour is, on the other hand, the mod for the Hearts of Iron game, and one of the mods that you really want to pay for, because this mod is giving you probably the best campaign during the World War I you can get from the Paradox games or from any real-time strategies. And what's even better, you can play as Poland and you can invade Japan. This is awesome.
Nice.
I want to do it right now, but. Anyway, yeah, so basically I think For the Glory is a game that you want to really seek if you want to play the best old school Europa Universalis kind of game, because it's making Europa Universalis 2 better than it was in the original way, and Europa Universalis 2 is considered the best of the games of the genre. So yeah, I think it's actually a good idea. So yeah,
okay.
that's basically.
I just want to interrupt really quickly. Chat are still saying that Megapieman is really still quite low. So is there anything you can do in regards to that Megapieman?
How? I'm at like 74%.
Go at 100.
Go to 100. Crank it up to 11.
Yeah, put it up to 11, dude.
Do I have audio settings here on freaking on Zoom?
You should do.
I don't.
You definitely should do.
Actually.
Under I think it's Start Audio. You should have, or on top right, you should be able to open a settings menu, and then you should be able to adjust your microphone volume.
Fine, people are saying.
He's fine. Pi is fine for me. So
yeah,
all the
Pi
people.
is fine for everyone.
Okay. Yep. Carrying on. What we're talking about next?
Carry on.
What? What's going on?
You're fine.
Let's talk about Turok. I want to talk about Turok.
I just wanted to say
Turok.
Turok. Yes. Oh my God. Chris is awake.
That's the only game I was ever, I cared recently that was released.
You're like the elderly relative in a nursing home. Every night you're sort of like, stole my keys and my watch. And then someone's like, did you play Turok recently? I'm like, oh, Turok, what? Eh? I'll let you say.
I played
the
Turok
progress
today, and it crashed my computer because I got a blue screen. Whoa!
Wow, that's not a surprise for you at all.
Turok is
I am not surprised in the slightest. You broke your PC.
I don't even know what happened.
The fact you've not set it on fire is is surprising me.
I just want to say that I am really disappointed that the game is called Turok and not I am Turok.
Yeah.
Turok Dinosaur Hunter. So you have to say it correctly, Outstar.
I'm sorry, Megapie. What else can you teach me?
Wow, sorry, Turok hipster. He loved Turok before it was cool.
I don't know when it released, but it was one of those games that came out like between the build shooter and before Call of Duty. I don't know if it came out before Half-Life, but it seems like it's so.
It came out before. It came out before Unreal, in fact.
It's got a lot of weird design elements to it. Like jumping in that game is terrible, whereas jumping in a lot of games around that time period is fantastic for movement. But if in Turok, if you jump, you're going nowhere. It's better to just run all over the place. And there's no key cards.
Before the developer stream, I gave Outstar advice on how to jump properly in the game, and she didn't have any problems in the game. So I think that problem is up to you. But yeah, the chair and the computer. I streamed it 2 times on my channel, played straight through it. I love it, absolutely love it. It was great back when it came out in '97, and it's
1970.
97.
97. Sorry, I'm messing with my headset. Sorry, I can't hear you properly. Carry on.
The only thing I don't really like about Turok is that in order to unlock later levels, you have to find and collect like little cube rune pieces.
Yeah, you know what those things are? Keys.
I found
there are no keys in this game. Do you pay attention to the games you're playing?
I streamed the game for 2 hours. I didn't find any of them. And then I played it today, and I found one.
I don't know what to say.
It's insane.
It was a weird game.
Am I just really bad at the game?
No.
I don't understand.
It was really weird for me because I was like, it was my first gameplay of Turok, the one we did at the developer stream. Yeah. So I was like, I was really into the idea that 8-bit would play this game, but the things happened and I was going to play it and I asked 8-bit to join me so he can actually tutor me and tell me what to do. And he was there on Skype. So we had developers and there was 8-bit who was talking with them and he was telling me what to do. What was pretty funny is I went into the game absolutely blind. I didn't know what to do. I was just running, shooting some dinosaurs, I guess, and running for the map. And suddenly I was like, "Hey, developers, 8-bit, can you guys hear me? Hey, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go." And they were, of course, they kind of told me, or I found a way and stuff. But it ended up like I finished the stream, and everyone was like, "Wow, Astor, you could really play this game well.
You got pretty far in those.
What?" I didn't know what to do. I was just stopping because I remember the moment when you guys were so much into the, because you are 8-bit, you are the Turok fangirl. You are.
The Turok fangirl.
I am.
Nice.
So you guys were discussing the stuff together and you were so into the zone and I was just standing in there and I don't know where the key is. I don't know what to do. Yeah, so it was fun.
That's the weird thing about the level design is like I was saying, you can beat levels and not find anything that you need to find in the level, but still think you made progress because you beat it.
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to playing it again, I must admit.
I think this is the same thing that completely destroyed the Jedi Knight experience for me, that there is a lot of stuff that is absolutely not obvious. And probably the only reason why I love Turok so much is because, back in the day I had a lot more patience. So I know all this level layout and how to deal with it. But, Jedi Knight, I jumped into that game like 2015 or 2015. I jumped into this game. And it's like, no, I can't. No, there's like, where do we want me to go? I didn't, every room was like a puzzle. Where am I supposed to go there?
Yeah.
Identical textures. One of them you can blow up. It's like, what? Why?
Identical textures.
Oh, God.
Turok has like one rock texture and they use it everywhere. I don't know how.
It's like all of the walls. They've got one wall texture, one grass texture.
Albion, I streamed a while ago. There's a point in Albion where you get stuck in this room and like the first time you run into enemies, and how you get out of that room is you have to find a specific spot on the wall, from what I remember, and it all looks the same. It's all really pixely.
Oh man, this just reminds me of Parent J's Ultimate.
I don't even think I got out of that room when I streamed it. I couldn't figure out how to get out of there. It all looked the same.
Excellent. It just reminds me of Piran Jade's Ultimate Underworld stream recently. She was playing on a Sunday before myself. I was watching her, and she had to find like a literally one square texture of wall in order to attack to get through to the next part of the level, and she was just wandering around so much, and the only way she knew how it was different is she walked up to it and pressed action on it, and it said there is something different about this wall, and that's all it said. And it was like literally like 15 pixels wide, this one area. You had to be in exactly the right place. I was like,
that's about as bad.
Harsh.
That's about as bad as some of the later Wolfenstein 3D levels where you have to find the secrets in order to actually beat the level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you basically
I'm really glad we don't do that anymore.
You basically just have to run against every wall and press the use key, like
it's standard gaming trope, isn't it? Yeah, it's standard gaming trope.
3 times per second, then you could beat this game pretty easily.
Yeah.
Well, at least in Doom,
rub your face against the wall.
They generally had like a different texture for the secret, so you could, if you paid attention, you could kind of see it. But in Wolf 3D, they didn't do that. They had like 5 textures for the whole game.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me of the Stonekeep, kind of. In Stonekeep, you know how Stonekeep looks like. You have those 4 angles you can turn yourself into, right? So you are just looking at the wall, and for example, let's imagine that you have 3 walls at your sides, right? And you're looking at the wall, and when you're moving, with the left arrow, you're just turning like this way, and this way, and this way, and this way. The thing is, when you're turning, the texture's quality is pretty low, and it's actually, all the details are added after like half a second when you are in the screen. Somehow it's something like that. So if you actually, because there are the bricks right on the wall, and there are places where one brick is actually loose and you can move it, and there's some kind of lever that opens some secret place, or there's some kind of an item and cool stuff, right? Yeah. What you have to do is you have to not just like a normal gamer, like a normal player, just move quickly with your left arrow. No, left arrow, stop. Left arrow, stop. And see this freaking loose brick will show up. Oh, good times.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
We should call this podcast "Old Men Yell at Games."
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of what we're doing. I'm feeling a bit down right now. I've got to admit, I'm not really feeling it. What else are we talking about? What else have we got on the agenda? What have we talked about?
Yeah. Do we have an agenda?
Nah, it's fine. Just winging it. So Sengoku, we talked about.
We can talk about. We could talk about Sudoku more.
Sudoku.
We can talk about Underrail.
Wait, what? So the thing I like about Sudoku. Wait a minute.
What's Sudoku, Megapieman? Yeah, I could ask him. I know.
Oh my
read
God.
Sengoku as Sudoku. I see like the S and the KU, and the rest of the word is blurred
You just
out.
read the first bit and the last bit. You just make the middle bit up.
My voice is somehow distorted for people. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've dropped 4.
That's okay.
I've dropped
anyway,
4 frames.
Guys, I think we should talk about trick style.
Yes, I agree. I think you should definitely talk about trick style. I know very little about trick style.
We should talk about trick style.
Yes.
All I know is that it was a Dreamcast game.
I haven't played that.
That's all I know.
Not true. It's not true. Everyone is saying like this is the wow. So Trickstyle actually had a port has a port now for PC because it was the Dreamcast only game. It was not. I checked it today. It was actually a Windows game back in '99 or '98. It was actually released on Windows, and it was a Windows game, but I think it was more popular on Dreamcast, so that's the reason. The thing is, I was really interested into that in that game and in streaming it because it was I am morphing into a Last Organic Vampire Mate. Oh my god, my voice is doing something weird. Anyway, about Trickstyle, the thing is, the game is actually looks like some kind of a Tony Hawk game mashed up with racing game. But you're actually using hoverboards instead of normal.
It reminds me of that Sonic hoverboard game.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I mean, the music is awesome. Music is like you have this freaking Eurotrash. not really. You have this freaking techno kind of music from '90s, which is really cool. And it's giving the vibe to the game.
Yeah.
And but the problem is, I was really thinking it's a game about tricks, but when you add tricks and racing together, you have a game I can totally play. So I was playing this game to prepare for the stream, and I didn't finish one race on the first place. So I can't play this game. It's terrible.
It's not a Sega game, is it?
No, it's not a Sega game, as far as I know.
No, it's named like a Sega game, though, isn't it?
I know it's named like it. It looks a lot like it.
It does. It looks like it should belong to in the Sega franchise. I must admit.
The way it looks makes me wonder if it was an arcade game, which would explain why it's so ridiculous.
Maybe, yeah. It's got that vibe to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it looks possible, especially since Sega, since Sega actually made arcade machines, and if I'm not mistaken, the the processors and video chips and stuff like that, which they used for the, I think Trident is what they were called. I may be wrong, but the Dreamcast was actually based on the technology which they used in the arcades, which was made it so easy for Sega to port arcade games to the Dreamcast, since it's basically used the same technology. And since those things also ran with Windows CE, made it also very easy to port it over to PC.
What's up with
We've lost him. We've lost him. Come back to us, MegapieMan.
I gotta. Is there like a chat thing in Zoom that I can send people something? Okay, so if you go to Google and you Google trick style, there's like an ad that's from France. That's like this naked dude lying down on the ground with the style box sitting in front of his crotch.
Okay, time out. Time out. We've gone off topic. We've
like
definitely gone off topic.
I'm posting it on chats right now.
I'm going to assume this is classic 90s games advertising.
I'm guessing yes. It looks French. I don't speak French. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Is this? I'm going to have to click on it now. But is this classic 90s advertising? Oh, it is. It totally is.
This kind of advertising they had back in the day.
It is. This was all the rage. This sort of thing. This mildly offensive advertising was just all over the place. You'd see.
Look at this guy's face.
Yeah, the expression on that guy's face is literally, I'm getting paid for this.
Yeah.
And nothing more.
His expression is, I have my penis in a game box
it's
right
not
now.
I'm getting paid for this. No, it is a question. Am I getting paid for this?
I apologize if I derailed the conversation, but
derailed the conversation? That's it. We're done. We're never getting better than this.
No, we have peaked. Okay, good night, folks.
That's it. Good
night.
Bye.
Great. All right. Next
game. Okay, Pyman, you were talking about Underrail quite a lot recently. So that was released on just before Christmas. What's it about?
I've seen people call it the Fallout 3 that never happened. Now I'm not an old school Fallout fan. I didn't play the original Fallout games or Fallout Classic, which is what I have on GOG.com. I don't think you can buy Fallout Classic. Like, you can buy Fallout, that's back on GOG though. Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics.
Yep.
But I only started playing those like last year to this year.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that. I don't mean from 2015 to 2016 because that just happened.
You started playing the classic
2014. And the reason why a couple of reasons why I didn't play that before then is just because it looked intimidating and complicated. And I'm not a huge fan of old CRPGs, but when I actually started playing Fallout, I found that it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And when I got into the Underrail is like the perfect modernization of a lot of what Fallout was trying to do without having to try to run an old program.
Yeah.
And even though when I played it, I spent like the first hour going the wrong direction and going into an area with enemies a lot higher level than me, that would kill me really easily. Even though that happened, and I apparently spent a good amount of that time skipping an item that I needed to complete the first quest, and then going to where I need to complete the first mission, not having that item and having to go all the way back and get it. If you like the combat of Fallout, if you like the dialogue ideas and a lot of the RPG elements to that, then I think you're really going to enjoy Underrail. Yeah. I was surprised at how much I liked it.
But I know
Also
I don't know anything about it. I mean, I've not even had a look at. Full disclosure, I've not had a look at Underrail at all. I've seen it on the site advertised a few times. That's GOG.com, in case you're wondering. But I've not actually looked at it, so I've not had need to. So, I mean, I'm interested.
To be honest,
people. Sorry.
By what Megapieman said, I am really shocked because I would never say that this is a game like that. So I'm right now. You get my attention right now.
I'm just telling you from what little bit I played it and what I've read of other people. I don't know how much you played it outside. But I can tell you that the first thing that you don't want to do when you play that game is you don't want to try to rob the guy who's training you how to play the game because he will kill you.
Okay,
Why would you do that?
To know.
Because I wanted to see if I could.
You wanted to see what would happen if you did that. So yeah, fair enough.
I think Megapieman is approaching every game. Okay, let's try to break this. And then I complain about
software
that
tester?
I was able to break the game.
Let's break this and then cry.
Yeah.
I always gotta see what I can get away with.
Are
That's
you
why
training
the
to be a
first time I
glitch runner?
played Judge Dredd,
I start to realize why you think you don't like any games. I think the problem lies
You just
in
play
your
them
heart.
wrong. You play them sideways.
Play
Stop playing games sideways.
On chat. I just had success on chat to talk Judas Iscariot into doing this trick style kind of campaign with GOG games. He will now do that. Is confirmed live here on the GOGcast.
We have evidence.
I'm not sure I want to see this.
Yeah,
I'm ready
with that. I'm all right with this. Right, so yeah, Underrail sounds interesting. I must admit. So, what else have we got on here? So we'll talk about Trickstyle. We've talked about For the Glory. We've talked about the Paradox games.
Chaos Reborn looks really cool. I haven't played it, but it looks cool.
I have not looked at it. Oh, Outstar's got a hand up.
Chaos Reborn tomorrow on GOG. Finally, it's PyroNJ is streaming it, so you guys will see how it look like. Because it really seems like one of the most interesting releases from the past 2 months, I think.
What exactly is it?
So I'm really happy that PyroNJ. It's a real-time strategy. No, it's not a real. It's a turn-based strategy. Yeah, it's a turn-based one.
Right, I see.
Yeah, and it has an immense amount of positive reviews everywhere, which is interesting for a game like that, because diehard fans of turn-based strategies are usually really negative towards every new title from a genre. So yeah, I'm really into seeing how it looks like.
I don't know what you're talking about. Gamers are completely accepting of all new iterations of any franchise.
Yeah, that's true.
I couldn't say that with a straight face.
It's not as bad as how people treat new RTS games.
Oh,
People really aren't fans of new RTS games.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's actually easy to get a super huge following, when you are doing a new RTS games because you're making something.
Everyone wants everything to be StarCraft, and if it's not StarCraft, it sucks.
Well, kinda, probably. It's pretty hard to be. I mean, whatever game you do right now, it's like you're a clone of that game, because everything was made. Well, maybe if you're making a dating sim about Regis, then it's not.
Well, that was a shameless plug, wasn't it?
Facebook.com/Cold Hearts
You'll get your chance. Calm down. You'll get your chance to plug your game. Don't worry. Okay, no worries. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure...
Twitch.tv/Memories in 8-bit. Twitch.tv/Outstarwalker. Twitch.tv/MegapiemanPHD. Okay, we're done.
Are you done now? Are you finished? Are you sure?
Yeah, we're done.
YouTube.com/MegapiemanPHD.
Oh my Christ.
Vivo.com/MegapiemanPHD.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Keeping
Keeping it old school, Pie Man.
Yeah!
I have to say that we actually did a test for this before, and I remember the very beginning of it when everything was so much prepared. Everyone was so much prepared. Everyone was like, "We're doing this. It's the time to do the test for the GOGcast." And then there were introductions. Everyone was like super serious. Yes, I am Outstar. Welcome. You may know me from being the Twitch coordinator on the twitch.tv/GOGcom and stuff like that. 8-bit said this part, and then there was Megapie. I am. Twitter.com/MegapiemanPHD.
You may know me such wonderful things as YouTube.com/MegapiemanPHD.
I can plug whatever I want because I have the largest camera screen. More people on chat have already noticed that, and I have the biggest view screen. I plug whatever the fuck I want.
You plug your calendar brand.
Well, we'll certainly sort that out, won't we? Right, edit scene. There we go. Let's make. There you go. You now have a very small camera now.
Oh goddamn!
Just talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to put people in weird positions. It's absolutely fine. I love being a podcast host. I get to play with it. It's not the size of it; it's what you do with it. This is why I'm currently streaming on a laptop.
All right,
anyway,
next topic.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on, I think we've talked about all of the games that have currently and recently been released. Well, not currently released. We would be here for days. But recently released on GOGcast. Is there one more? Have I missed one? What have I missed?
There's one more.
What have I missed?
Yes.
Strategy first.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Looks a pain in the butt to play, and I'm staying away from it, but it's out.
It's a game where you actually have a really cool, super huge battle. And I remember that this game went out on Steam with a pretty huge bug that made this game unplayable after one of the chapters. So
that's right. So you can only ever buy anything on COD.
No. It was a big deal then. The game had mixed reviews. If you would see on Steam, this game has mixed reviews in there. But don't get bummed by that because it's only because of this freaking bug that prevents you from finishing the game. Basically, so everyone is saying that actually play this game that it's a nostalgia fantasy, you know, because
hang on.
What?
What is the difference between Warrior Kings and Warrior Kings Battles?
It's expansion pack for the Warrior Kings.
I see.
Oh, okay. I apparently loaded up the same page twice. I'm looking at it. Why are they the same screenshots? What's throwing me off? That explains it.
Interestingly.
Ignore me.
That's okay, we do that generally. Talking about game-breaking bugs, essentially, I was playing a game ages and ages ago on PlayStation called Bound by Flame. I don't know if anybody's ever heard it or played it, but it's not...
I played it. I beat it.
You beat it? How did you... There was a huge bug in the code that I received.
I played the PC version.
Oh, I played the PlayStation version, so that was probably riddled. But yeah, essentially, I got to like the second boss. Well, I don't know.
Let's say titles about games that didn't release.
Sorry.
Let's say titles of games that didn't release, and so World of Darkness Online and Megapieman. I beat it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of saying that I beat that game. Because a lot of people are saying that that game is BS because it's like really hard but unfairly difficult. So a lot of people just didn't play it. And I remember I was watching some guy play through it who got to the final boss on the hardest difficulty and then just gave up and walked away.
You know what I really like is not only are people impressed that you beat a game that has an obvious bug, but people are impressed that you beat a game. That's what I like about chat right now.
I've been known to do that from time to time.
It's happened once or twice. It's okay. It happens to all the men. It's fine. It's a very common concern. Yeah, no, I got literally second boss. It's like a demon woman or something, and I auto saved. I'd saved anyway. I'd scum saved. I hit an auto save point, dropped down into a pit where this demon woman was. The cutscene didn't load. The game crashed. I rebooted. Went back through the section. The cutscene also didn't load, but it didn't even trigger this time. And the boss was just stood there in a T-pose. Just completely invulnerable to attack. Just stood there like she'd just fallen out of a different video game completely. Yeah. It was just like, I'm sure you were scary when you moved and had dialogue, but now you just look ridiculous.
My experience with Bound by Flame is very weird because everybody that I have ever heard of talk about it says it's like a terrible game, one of the worst games they ever played. And yet I kind of liked it, which I'm trying to figure out, what did I miss? Or do I just like that game?
Yeah,
I thought it was all right.
I know. There was a lot about it. It was passable once I got used to it, but I felt like I had to get used to it, if that makes sense. But it kind of tidied me over for that big sort of open action RPG element thing. It kind of scratched that itch a bit. Anyway, I think we talked about everything now. I'm looking at Outstar now because, quite frankly, I don't know what I'm doing. Yep, cool, excellent. Big thumbs up.
I don't think Bound by Flame is on GOG yet, so hopefully we're okay with that.
So hopefully we're okay with that. Yeah, that's fine. We can say negative things about games. It's absolutely fine. No one's going to say, "Oh, you were being too negative about games." If a game is bad, it's a bad game. You don't have to say.
It's not that bad.
Everybody likes. Everybody has a difference of opinion. That's what makes the world great. If I find a game is bad and you find a game is good, fantastic. That means we've got a difference of opinion. It means we can have a discussion
Call
about
of Duty. Can't be that bad.
This is very true. Okay, so. Jesus, we're 50 minutes in because we totally started on time. Okay, so we've talked about basically new releases. We've covered a few from before Christmas. And we've covered a few from this last week. So now we're going to go through what we have been playing. This is very much an open forum. I'm going to pick somebody at random, someone who's not laughing their head off, Outstar. I'm going to pick Chris, Memories in 8-Bit. What have you been playing recently?
So yeah, I was kind of tying into that. I played, of course, Turok. I did that on stream. 2 episodes, 7 hours, rushed right through the game. Amazing game. Also been playing a lot of Witcher 3. Finally finished the main campaign. Now on to Hearts of Stone.
Nice.
Also an amazing game. And yeah, now I'm really looking forward to play more Chromia, since that game just totally got onto me.
Just out of interest, was that the game you were playing just before this?
Yes.
Man, that looked insane. I'm totally into that.
Maya is a really, really cool game. It's a lot to take in visually.
Yeah.
Because it's just this kind of style of game with color. But it's since 8-Bit is a big fan of Descent, I thought he would really like that.
Yeah. And of course, I also
first person, but apparently it's not. I couldn't.
And yes, of course, I also played. Finally, finished as well on stream, Jedi Knight and its add-on Mysteries of the Sith. So these were 2 Star Wars related games which I recently finished. And I also had, like, again, as I said before, it's like new room. Oh, where is the new way where I have to go? Or, is there an enemy that will suddenly run out of nowhere and shoot me a rocket in the face? Because that happens a lot in this game as well. And I couldn't really get into it all too much, to be honest. I think I lack the patience. But since the game got really good reviews, the only website that shared my opinion about the level design was IGN, and it was kind of like, okay, I may just be wrong.
That's going to be amazing for our audio-only listeners.
With IGN there. Got shot in the face by a rocket. 8 out of 10.
Right.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Have you been playing anything else recently?
Not much more, to be quite honest. Didn't have much time to play. Yeah, so work stuff,
yeah.
We're also making a game. Twitter.com/coldheartsgame.
I thought I'd just let you have that one. I'm not going to be able to stop you now, am I? I'm trying to basically eke out your sections as much as possible because I have played almost nothing. Like all over Christmas, I've been too busy to play video games. I know, shocker. But so, MegapieMan, what have you been playing recently?
I have been playing a game called Aviary Attorney, which is like Ace Attorney, but you play as a bird. It's awesome.
I saw that advertised the other day.
And you play it, and you should get the guy to put it on GOG. I might do a video about it on my YouTube channel, so I don't want to talk about it a lot.
Have you got a YouTube channel? What's your YouTube channal?
YouTube MegapiemanPHD. But it's really good. I like it a lot. I also played. What are you laughing at? It's kind of really good. Aviary Attorney is actually really, really cool. It's they use artwork from some guy. I think it's called like Grandland, JJ Grandland. So artwork's really. I've also been playing a game called The Mean Greens Plastic Warfare, which is like if you ever played the old 3DO Army Men games, it's like. They had the third-person shooter with Army Men 3D and Sarge's Heroes and that. It's like that, but made in Unreal 4 and as a multiplayer game. And it looks good. It's a lot of fun. I got a video of that up over on
YouTube.com/MegapiemanPHD.
I only play games when I do videos on them. I'm sorry. I played the first 5 minutes of Batman Arkham Knight. I'm not doing a video on that one. So there we go. Woo! Next.
Next person. Right. Outstarwalker, what have you been playing recently?
Well, I don't know. Not much.
I swear to God, if you say Cold Hearts, I will disconnect you right now.
No. You know, everyone is like waiting for me to say that finally, because everyone is like, Outstar was twitching for the whole freaking podcast to say something about Dark Souls. Yes, I am officially addicted to Dark Souls, and it's official, and I played too much, and I can't stop streaming it because it's too good.
One of us.
It's too good. Today I actually hit 600 deaths in the game, so I had my little celebration, and it was pretty good. The game is like, it's really good, but the only problem I have with Dark Souls is the fact that you get into the game and you have so much. No, it's like, no, I still have a lot of stuff to do in the game, but the thing is, you go into the game and you do stuff, you know, you just have tons of fun with the gameplay, and it's amazing, and suddenly there's like almost no lore in the game, and to get the lore you have to actually get into the description of items, which is the first time I've ever met something like that. And you have to read the description of items, remember all the weird names, because Japanese people have the talent to name characters in their games terribly. And if they're not Japanese names, because they're not, of course, and Dark Souls is not Japanese, right, in the lore and stuff, the names are just totally forgettable. I forget every name of every person I've met in the game. And the problem is, all the fans of this game, they know every fucking person, and sorry about my English, excuse me, but they know everything about every freaking monster in the game, and every little person that comes. And I talk with that person, everyone is like, oh, this person, oh my god, this story. And I'm approaching that person, and he says, good luck on your journey. Okay, that was deep. That was deep. I should know everything about this game by now. So you should probably read Wikipedia or just read through every freaking item description to know anything about what's going on in the game. I have no idea, and I've been playing this game for 70 hours right now. So
I gotta admit, my first full playthrough, I was completely clueless about how interconnected the entire world was. However, I started on Demon Souls on PlayStation 3, and that's even worse. That gives you no indication, not only of what you're doing, but where you're going. So like, you've got 5 main areas in Demon Souls, and you've got 3 levels to each area. So you've got world 1-1 essentially, then 1-2, 1-3, and then 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 3-1, etc, etc. However, it doesn't go like that. You play 1-1, then you play 3-2, then you play 1-3, then you play, and it just goes in a random order that if you get it wrong, you're screwed. Like, completely screwed, because everything will just kill you instantly. And I don't know, I hated that when I first started playing it, and I ignored the game for like a year, and then I went back to it, and I kind of got slightly addicted to it. So that sort of sparked my love for Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and everything else Souls related, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Dark Souls 3, I must admit.
It's in April.
Personally, I don't even own a Dark Souls game. But I feel like I'm the only person like who plays games that can say that nowadays. We're a dying species.
Non-Dark Souls players, yeah. It's kind of taken a bit of a shift over the last couple of years, actually. Like, it used to be a case of...
The thing that I wonder about is, what is it about Dark Souls that people like that wasn't in Demon Souls? Because Demon Souls was the first one.
Story.
And I didn't hear crap about Demon Souls.
Well, that's because Demon Souls.
I can tell you what that is. Demon Souls was only on PlayStation.
This guy, this guy right here, down here. There we go. It was
I talked over you guys what you were saying. I didn't hear a word you said.
I told you, Demon Souls was only on PlayStation. Dark Souls was the first multi-platform title.
Yeah, but Bloodborne was only on PlayStation.
And even but by that point, Dark Souls 1 and 2 had gotten the hype train started. So you think about it, like Dark Souls 1 essentially, plus when Dark Souls came out on PC, it was slated as being an awful port, because it was an awful port. They literally, they had to get the fans had to get a petition together. It's like 30,000 signatures or something like that, in order for From Software to even make a PC version. And they literally said in a news release when they made it was, we're not changing anything, we're just making it work on PC. You want it to work with different controllers, you want it to work with keyboard and mouse, you sort it out. That's literally how they marketed it, and the fans just ate it up. I mean, fair enough, I ate it up. I played Dark Souls 1, the first time I played it on PC, and I was perfectly happy with it. But that kind of generated controversy and generated hype for it. Negative hype initially, but still hype.
Then when Dark Souls 2 came out, From Software was like, you know what? If we put our things on PC, we can actually make money off of this.
Yes, they realized they like money.
Wow.
I also realized I was the only one who's actually talking about games that are on GOG.
You're not the only one talking about it.
I actually want to continue, but
hang on. I can open up GOG Galaxy and can take a look at here.
That's not done yet.
I've played a little bit of Kingpin Life of Crime. I didn't get past level 1 because I couldn't figure out what to do, and I was going to stream that, but I had to cancel the stream. So... There you go.
Of course you did. I don't know why I'm surprised by this anymore.
I looked up a walkthrough and found out that there's like a specific thing you have to do. I played the game thinking I'm going to play a first-person shooter. No, I'm playing like not that. You have to if you hold your weapon out, that it's like one of the things you first do, and you walk up to somebody, because you have to talk to people in this game. You can talk to them positively or negatively. Even though I don't want to talk to any of them, they all look very mean, like they want to hurt me, because they're all carrying weapons.
It's because they all want to hurt you.
But if I walk around with a weapon, they will then chase me down and kill me. So the first thing I did, there's a couple talking to each other. I guess they're a couple. There's a guy and a lady. We're talking to each other at the start of the game. No, when the game opened and I have a lead pipe in my hand and I'm playing what I think is like going to be a first-person shooter, it's like, okay, you get a melee weapon, then you get the pistol, then you get the assault rifle, shotgun, so forth. All right, these people are holding weapons. I should attack them, and then they kill me again and again. They kill you a lot, and you can't run from them because they will chase you. And then if someone's chasing you, everybody else will chase you who sees you. So it is not an intuitive game to figure out how to play it. After following the walkthrough, okay, you got to talk to this people. You got to make sure that you go in this. You make sure no one sees you. Kill this person, steal their money, go to a pawn shop, get a mission. Make sure that you sneak around the side of a building where the guy's holding a shotgun, another guy has double pistols. They see you, they'll kill you. And you have to talk to a lady who tells you that you only go around that area when the radio's loud, because then they can't hear you. It's the radio. If you don't talk to her, you don't know that. And nothing tells you to talk to people if you don't look at the keybinds in the game. It's ridiculous.
So I have the GOG page open right now. The page actually says the game comes with a manual. Have you read that?
Shut up. Okay.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
I read a manual today. I read the manual for Sensible World of Soccer 96-99, which I'm playing tomorrow on stream. So I read a manual. I didn't read the manual for Kingpin, but
I remember the time when MegapieMan streamed the battle chess, and he didn't know it was a chess game before.
Whoa, hang on. Did I miss this? What happened?
Let's not talk about battle chess.
No. Outstarwalker. I want to know the battle chess story.
No. Battle chess stories. I'm terrible at chess. I wanted to stream a chess game. I got mad at it and walked away. That's the battle chess story.
I gotta find that video. I've gotta find that video.
I know how to play chess. I'm just bad at chess. I didn't think I was that bad at chess.
I think chess also comes with a manual. Have you read that?
I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave.
You asked for this. You wanted this podcast more than anybody. You gotta take this heat, man.
Does anybody out there agree with me that Kingpin does something to teach you how to play it and it's much crap? Please, somebody.
Well, it's been a very, very long time since I played Kingpin, and I don't remember having that reaction to it. But I don't know. There's going to be people who agree with you. However,
I have another topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
I have a topic about the games I played during Christmas, because I spent this Christmas playing, it's like very I won't say Dark Souls, but it's totally something you wouldn't think of playing.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you played Dark Souls. We haven't been talking about that yet.
So I was playing dating sims, of course, for the for the known reasons. But I was actually playing dating sims.
I wonder why were you playing those, Outstar? Why were you playing those? Was that for some sort of research?
Cold Hearts game.
But I actually played
refrigerators.
I played all the Sakura games, which was because there's a big hype about Sakura games, them being one of the most popular dating sims available, and they're basically advertised by those super huge boobs everywhere. They're just boobs, and I played those games, and I have to say, I didn't before that time. I didn't actually consider Hatoful Boyfriend that good of a game. I played Hatoful Boyfriend, which is a game available on GOG, and it was for me it was a cool game, and I had fun playing that. But I had this thought in the back of my head: if I would do a dating sim, I would probably put more into that. It would be probably because this game is it's not there's not that much into it. There's just few interactions and stuff. But then I played Sakura games. Like really, I bought the game for like, I don't know, €12 or $12, and there were literally 4-player interactions in the whole game. It was terrible. There were very nice boobs, I have to say. Very, very nice boobs. And the artwork was really, really well done.
You heard it here first, folks.
Exactly. Very, very well drawn.
What a way to start a podcast series. There are some really well drawn boobs in this game.
Yes, and this is the only. There are people on Steam actually say that there are 2 good sides of those games. The first side is the boobs, and the second you can play the game one-handed. And those are the 2 only good sides of the game.
Oh my god!
It's true. And this is the moment when I actually decided, and I thought to myself that, wow, full respect for the Hatoful Boyfriend devs, because they actually made a very good game that stands out of the whole dating sim genre, not only because of the pigeons thing, and because it's actually funny, but because it's very well done. And in comparison to all the Sakura games, it's really like masterpiece.
Is Long Live the Queen considered a dating sim?
No, of course, no. It is considered, I think, a visual novel. It is considered a visual novel. So
visual novels are dating sims. Don't
no. Dating sims are visual novels.
Yeah.
This way.
But, yeah.
Not vice
okay,
versa.
but not the other way around.
Well, I don't play visual novels. Period. So I guess I'll take your word for that.
You did play Long Live the Queen.
Yeah.
I did stream Long Live the Queen, so I played a visual novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just contradicted yourself. Yeah.
I remember this boob part in your stream. It was very, very beautiful.
Sim I have ever heard.
That's on the trailer, isn't it?
It was a mobile game in which you played as a lady, and she I don't know if she inherited.
I don't know why I found that funny.
At a particular restaurant, and the restaurant kind of focused around sushi, and at night the sushi would turn into boys, and she could then date them. I don't know whatever happened if she had to at some point serve the sushi that turned into boys at night,
Instant classic already.
Eat it, and then it was nighttime. Would it still turn into a boy even though you already ate it? I didn't think about those things because that's weird.
It's like suggestive cannibalism.
At that point in my life, when I read about that game, I found out dating sims are probably not for me.
It sounds like
I was always really into figuring out. Maybe you guys know, is Long Live the Queen anyhow connected to the Princess Maker?
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Because I'm not up on my lore on that series. I'm sorry.
Princess Makers were the games I was playing when I was younger, and they were very, very cool games, which are pretty similar in. There was a game, I don't know which one of the Princess Maker series was it, but there was a game when you were a guy, and suddenly you get a girl from out of space, a little girl, and you are kind of starting to be a father figure to this girl, and you're trying to raise her up send her to the places, you know, to make to somehow, you know, make her into some kind of a person. And as far as I remember, there were over 70 endings to the game, and they were both connected with the fact what kind of profession will the girl do when she will get adult, and also who will she marry. And of course, there was an ending in which she marries you, because why not? It's a Japanese
Obviously,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, but she could also become Satan. She could marry Satan.
Of course.
So she could be. Yeah, there were two different endings. She could become Satan, or she could marry Satan and be Lady Satan. She could become a pope. She could become a pope in the game. She could become a dancer, a king. No, a queen. Sorry, a king. Or of course a wife to the king. Who was another person, and yeah, it was kind of a very cool game, and I saw a lot of things similarities to Long Live the Queen when I played the game.
I've not played this game, but after Googling it, I could say there's some interesting imagery.
But
Well,
Megapieman,
let's not share those in chat.
Megapieman, didn't you also play in
Tamagotchi, but with a little kid? Is that what it is? What it reminds me of. I'm sorry, I cut you off because I am.
Yeah.
Sorry,
didn't you also play another visual novel? Like what was that called? 80 Days, I think. I mean, I remember the visuals much more than the audio in that game. I think it was.
I don't know. 80 Days is not really a visual novel. It's more of a choose your own adventure game.
All right.
There's much more of a game there than there is a focus on story. Although I have to say it was really cool.
Yeah. Very cool stream.
That I ended up like going over the North Pole in a giant walking boat that then exploded. It's a really cool
Fair
game.
enough, yeah, because reasons.
I know what you're getting at, 8-bit, and I'm completely ignoring it. So you ain't gonna, you're not gonna be happy.
You were so close to memories. You were so.
We
close.
just tried to chat knows that's all that counts.
Yep, absolutely.
We don't in jokes. The last thing we need.
Man, that's all we've got.
Are in jokes.
We run on in jokes.
Establishing the stream team brand here. That's what we do.
And yeah, okay, so let's just end up the topic of the 80 days, because it was a torture. 80, don't do that. You're a bad person.
80 days is a good game. You guys should play it.
And the other topic I want to, just ending the topic about the games I'm playing recently, is the Morrowind, because I'm actually playing it outside of the streams right now, just because I have to level up.
Morrowind is available on GOG as well.
Yep, of course. But I'm actually playing because of my dear friend Classicor, who is a streamer on the channel too. He actually taught me about all the vampire mods that you can get in the game. So I am basically using tons of vampire mods right now, tons of mods that are making the game better. And I have to say, all those vampire mods are really well made. And it's not like the game is like pretending to give you some vampire powers. You really feel like you have them.
Apparently they're really good.
Yeah, the thing is, the game turns into a survival game, and it's actually I had the same feeling playing the Morrowind with the vampire mods as I had in DayZ, because I knew that if I will go out I will die because there's a sun, but I have to go out because I have to find someone to drink the blood from, and there's no one to drink the blood from here, so I will die from the lack of blood. And it was really, it changed my view on Morrowind completely. And I have to say it's pretty fun. Although unfortunately the mods, of course, like the mods are a little bit buggy, so you can run into some, literally run into some bugs. I literally ran too much in the game. I drained my fatigue when I was outside, and the character in Morrowind, when you drain your fatigue, actually falls on the ground, right? And usually just stands up after a while. With those mods, you don't really stand up ever again.
Oh, I see. So
you're outside at night, and you fall on the ground, and then you just can look up at the sky and wait for the sun to come and kill you.
Wow,
so
that was dark.
Yeah, so that was a pretty cool way to die. But yeah, I have to say those mods are changing the game thoroughly, and they can give you a totally new gameplay, which is, for me, I mean, I do think that Morrowind has an awesome replayability. It's a game that you want to come back to after a while because the mood is awesome. But with those mods, you can totally change your gameplay and do something super new and feel like it's a different game.
Cool. I do like that. I like the fact that some mods, like some of them are going to be, you know, understandably rubbish because they'll be made by people who don't really understand how it fits together. But stuff like Morrowind, even Skyrim to a certain extent, I know that some of the modding community have created humongous mods for it, and they can not just like, oh yeah, you can turn your horse into a unicorn or anything like that.
Yeah,
it's more like
there's like the interesting NPC mod, which actually they went and got a whole bunch of people to record tons of voice lines for NPCs.
Yeah, exactly. And was it the Path to Elsewhere? Was it that was a mod created, completely mod created campaign, wasn't it?
You've also
there
got
there were a lot for both Morrowind, Oblivion, and I think there's a few for Skyrim as well.
Yeah. But you see, like people will make like cinematic trailers for mods, and you're just like, dude, these guys aren't developers, and yet it looks just as good as the original game.
Well, have you seen Helgen Reborn for Skyrim?
Yeah, I think somebody that I
think so,
vaguely know voiced something for that. I think
that mod is ridiculous because it's sort of like in Fallout 4 they added the ability to like build a base, and in Skyrim there was a DLC that like allowed you to, I think, build a house or something.
Yeah.
From what I understand of Helgen Reborn, you kind of go back to Helgen, which I think is the first town that's destroyed by a dragon at the start of that game.
Yeah, I think so.
You basically just take over and you can like build crap everywhere. Yeah. This cave.
You just walk in. You're just like, this is my town now.
And stuff. It's crazy. And I was watching some of the developer videos for, like, the guy is actually like editing the nav mesh of the particular thing, and he's basically making a game.
Yeah.
In the game.
In fairness, that's how a lot of that's how some developers actually start out, isn't it? Like,
I mean, that's how DayZ became a thing.
Pretty much. Like, some people will just make good mods for it. I mean, most developers I've spoken to, they basically say if you've got the ability to create good mods for games, then you should be sat there at home making good mods for games and getting your name out there, because people who create the game, they want to sort of go, ooh, someone's made this really good mod that's got, I don't know, 40,000 downloads. It must be all right. I'll download it. They then tell their boss then offers this person a contract. It's kind of, it sounds a little bit, you have to be in the right place at the right time, but it probably happens a lot more than we think, and also a lot more than is publicized.
This is why
sometimes I do some mapping for Team Fortress 2, and people, there's multiple people who are like really good mappers or really good modelers who've been modeling stuff for people's maps, and then they go and get a job at their own company where they're in charge of everything. I do imagine, though, that it's very difficult to make those big mods because you have to work within the game's own limitations since you don't have control over everything. So you got to give props to modders. You got to give them props.
Yeah, it's like the games that I was actually talking about at the very beginning of the stream, the games that actually got released on GOG, For the Glory and Darkest Hour, a Hearts of Iron game. Both games from Paradox are actually based on mods, and it's very, very nice to hear and read reviews that say that those are the mods that are worth paying for. And I remember my own beginnings in the game dev career. Let's say not really a career because I was not even publishing that, but I was 13. And I was playing Neverwinter Nights as crazy because I really loved Neverwinter Nights back then. And Neverwinter Nights had this Aurora engine, and you still, by buying the Neverwinter Nights today, you still get the Aurora engine there. And there's a huge editor in there in which you can basically code. You can find a lot of. You can even find some creatures and people and some stuff in this editor that you can't find in the Neverwinter Nights game, which was really interesting for me as a fan of the game.
Yeah, it was like unused assets, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. So you couldn't really, I think you couldn't really add your own assets. It was really hard. But you could, I mean, I didn't know how to do that, but you could create your whole stories, your whole campaigns with the mod, which was even funnier for me later, because then I realized that Witcher 1 was actually based on Aurora engine, the same engine which I modded when I was playing Neverwinter Nights. And actually the Red Kit. It's not basing on Aurora Engine at all, but you can see in modern Red Kit for Witcher 2 and Witcher 3 that there are some winks to this old Aurora Engine, and everything is, you know, because Aurora was really good back in the days, and it was a pretty cool engine to make games.
No, it's very true. I sunk a lot of hours into the Aurora Engine in Neverwinter Nights, I must admit, and I didn't do it like, I didn't think to myself, oh yeah, I'm going to be a really cool modder and I'm going to get famous. I was just like, oh my god, I can make levels. This is so cool.
It's actually a cool topic about games on GOG that are available with the level editor or with some kind of an engine inside. For example, Heroes of Might and Magic.
Exactly.
Heroes of Might and Magic free editor is just a precious little thing, and you can make your own freaking maps with your friends, you know, on a map that are heroes, and it's so easy that even a person that has no idea about any game development and anything can just get into that, because this engine is really easy to work on.
I did wonder if we were going to get through the stream without you mentioning Heroes of Might and Magic, but there you go.
Yeah, Dark Souls, Heroes of Might and Magic. I'm repeating myself all the time.
Okay, so I think moving swiftly on, I've really not played a lot over the Christmas period. I have been too busy getting this together.
Candy Crush.
Sorry?
You been playing some Candy Crush over there?
I have not been playing Candy Crush at all. If I play anything, I've been playing Don't Starve. That's basically that's my drug of choice right now. Is I'll play it, I'll survive for 15-20 days, and then I'll just lose interest and kind of throw myself. I'll attack a beefalo or something like that and just stupidly start a stampede.
Have you been playing the original Don't Starve or Don't Starve Together?
No, the original Don't Starve. Like not even with Reign of Giants or anything, like the original Don't Starve. I've seen like there's a lot of new DLC coming out for it soon-ish. I can't quite remember when.
It was a shipwreck DLC.
Yeah, when you're on a boat. I like the idea of it. I haven't played Reign of Giants enough, or I've not even touched Don't Starve Together. So I just basically wanted. I loaded up. I had my laptop, the laptop I'm currently streaming on, with me when I went on holiday, when I went on family vacation over Christmas and New Year. And I had no internet while I was there, hence why I kind of dropped off the grid for a little while. But I had 2 games installed. I had Doom and I had Don't Starve. And those were the 2.
Stop at Doom. Doom's all you need.
No, I completed Doom.
Get the Don't Starve.
I hadn't played Doom in ages. Absolutely, both on GOG, both my GOG downloads from Galaxy, and I played through Doom on the day before Christmas Eve, I think it was. I just burned through it in like a few hours, and then I got through Don't Starve. That kind of gave me the gaming scratch that I needed basically over the next couple of weeks. So every now and then, like I said, I load it up. I'd really get into it for like 20 in-game days, and then I'd do something really stupid. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Did you say that
you beat Don't Starve?
No, I said that would then give me that sort of.
I was confused because the last time I played it, I didn't even think there was a way to beat it.
Oh, there is. There's a way of beating it. You have to find a certain item.
Really?
Yep.
It's been a long time.
You find a certain structure. No spoilers, obviously, but you find a certain structure that gives you a certain challenge. You do that challenge, and you kind of get to the conclusion. Anyway, moving swiftly onwards. So I think we've pretty successfully covered what games we've been playing recently. And yeah, let's move on to
I got one more.
Oh my days.
One last one.
Yes, go on then. Whilst we're young.
Yesterday while I was waiting for a guy to show up.
Yep. Memories wake up.
I was waiting for some contractors to show up. I was playing Cooked Served Delicious on my phone. Now, I don't normally play mobile games. I've played a lot of Cooked Served Delicious on PC, and it's a really good game.
That sounds terrible.
It's kind of like a typing. Have you played Cooked Served Delicious?
No, but it sounds terrible.
Have you seen it?
Nope. I know nothing about it other than the name. I'm very judgmental.
It's a game about you're running a restaurant, people show up, they give you the order, then you have to press the right keys to give them the correct, to create the order and like cook the food and send it to them.
So it's typing of the dead with food.
Kind of, except you're not typing words. But the thing is, I love it on PC when I got a keyboard, but on my phone, it is like the worst game you could possibly put on a phone because it's all based off of tapping on the screen. And it's mostly responsive, but it kind of has put me off the idea of wanting to play mobile games, like in general, because it's really bad. I would rather just play a game on my PC. In general, I don't care.
What got me into
I played
mobile gaming?
Monument Valley on my iPad.
That.
And that was kind of cool. That game I liked a lot. I beat it fairly quick. It was fairly short, but even with Monument Valley, how it utilizes its touchscreen, I would still just rather play it on my PC.
No, that got me into mobile gaming so much so I'm going to break the fourth wall right now and show you, if I can, show you my phone screen, which is actually Monument Valley. That's how much I actually really enjoy that game. Is I really like the art style of it.
I played it because it was free around Christmas.
Oh my days!
It's a great game, Megapie. Come on.
I don't have money.
I ended up paying $9 for it, and I felt like I'd cheated the developers out of money. I felt like I should have paid at least twice that much just because of how nice it looked and just how it handled how original it was. Anyway,
the only game that I have on PC that was started as a mobile game that I think was better as a mobile game than on PC is Mountain. Other than that, I'd rather just have it on PC.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like I say, it's very rare that I actually play mobile games.
I just want to say one thing about mobile games, because I have my favorite mobile game and it has a cool name, so I want to share it.
Is it Cold Hearts?
No. No, it's a mobile game called Super Monsters Ate My Condo, and I really like it. It's a very cool game. It's drawn by people from Cartoon Network.
It's an Adult Swim game, yeah.
And it's a game in which you have to basically just move the blocks away, but there are huge freaking monsters fighting with each other, and there's this huge Viking lady with huge boobs, which is sometimes coming and doing wah, and there is the Wheel of Fortune, and there are the bright colors, and basically after 10 minutes of playing this game, you feel like you are on a heavy dose of LSD, which is pretty cool.
Yep, fair enough. I'm seeing a bit of a running trend with some of the games you play about women with large boobs.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, that one. Anyway, moving swiftly onwards. So we've covered basically all of the games that we've been playing recently. So I think it's time to move on to some readers' questions. Now, earlier today, we sent out... we sent out some... tweets and things. I sent out some tweets. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I would suggest follow me on Twitter. In the meantime, it's at ScreamingJoypad. Before any of the GOGcast, basically, I'll send out a quick tweet using the hashtag GOGcast, and I'll ask for your questions. We will always endeavour to answer all of your questions that have been tweeted out. However, if you do have questions in chat, then we will try our very best to ask in chat. So we're going to go through the we're going to go through the Twitter ones first.
You mean twitter.com/coldheartsgame.
Yeah, that one. You can tweet them with the questions as well, in fairness. I don't really care as long as we get them.
Send me your questions. I will not answer them.
Yeah, so we'll go through them. First and foremost, I think this is a question to everybody, but it may just be to me, I'm not quite sure. Koalaman1008 asks, who does your hair? I can tell you who does my hair. I do my hair. Outstar, who does your hair?
My hairdresser or I, it depends. But whenever I go to my hairdresser, it's like I'm afraid what's going to happen, because he never tells me what he will do, and then I come out looking like Princess Bubblegum, or with my hair in the color of the monster from Witcher 1.
You do seem to change your hair color quite a lot. Like over the last year that I've known you, you've changed hair color and style quite considerably. Like,
it's everyone thinks that it's because of me and it's because of my style, but it's actually because of my hairdresser and because I can't say no. Whenever I go to him, because my fringe is too long, and it's actually covering my eyes, and I'm, hey, can you please cut my fringe? He's like, okay, and he's putting this freaking fluorescent thing on my hand and on my head, and suddenly I have green hair, So this happens, yeah, and he's actually, helped me. He's taken me as hostage, and I can't get out.
You're too polite to say, no, I don't want bright pink hair this time, thank you very much. I'd just like to have normal hair.
This is why I actually started streaming on GOG having super long brown hair, and suddenly this happens.
That was before you met this hairdresser, yeah.
What happened? Yeah. So it's not my fault, guys. Don't ask me about it. It's a very hurtful topic. It's a wound.
Wow, fair enough. Chris, Memories in 8-bit. Who does your hair?
Yeah, if I want to have like my hair changed, I just think about it and it changes. Nothing more to that.
Okay, so Memories in 8-bit is a god. That's good to know. He can just sort of, or either that, or he's just made out of Play-Doh. He just sort of squeezes his nose, blows really hard, and then hair comes out. MegapiemanPHD, who gives you that luscious crust?
Ready Whip. Ready Whip does my hair.
Ready Whip. Yep, good to know. Okay, I think that's pretty. That was actually a really good question. I think we answered that. Well, I think you guys all answered that really, really well. I was just like, I do my hair. Okay, so LockWolfNL on Twitter asks, is there any concrete or changing future plans for the channel? I don't think we have any future plans for the channel. I don't think we have any plans for the channel in all fairness. We kind of
just take it day by day.
Pretty much, yeah. Alza's probably the best person to answer this.
we do have plans, but the thing is, people have like really awesome plans on what to do, and it always takes some time to actually get it through all the stuff and all the people. So, for example, the GOGcast was one of the ideas that was going through, brains of a lot of people in our stream team for a long time. And finally, Mike found the guts to actually do it, which we are super thankful for. And yeah, well, so
it's not just that. It's that, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, I'm going to say it anyway. We had to wait for GOGcast to get approved, and then it had to be approved who was going to run it.
Yeah, I mean, but it was a process which is kind of needed for everything that goes on. But it's like we are in the we have plans for a lot of things, but it's better to actually think about if they are going to work out before I actually do them. Yeah. So there are a lot of plans right now, but of course we can't spoil anything because we could say that, hey, we're playing this super cool thing and it will happen.
Yeah,
but then
exactly.
suddenly it will just it will just go mad. But yeah, we do have plans, but we don't have any future agenda for the channel, anything like that. There is a topic about the partnership going on, which is still like somehow operated through the GOG office, and
it may happen.
It may happen, but because it's actually not a secret that we do want to have a partnership based on charity. So this is actually the thing that will probably be done this year. I really hope so. And yeah, and for all the other things, we just have the projects which we're doing and which we plan to organize in here.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I think the key thing to take away from it is, as soon as there are lots of different ideas floating around, like the different members of the stream team, and as soon as one kind of takes traction and becomes a realization, then we kind of talk about it on air and we talk about it online, and that becomes a real thing. And then we kind of back ourselves into a bit of a corner then, because sometimes we'll say, oh yeah, this would be a really good idea, and one of us will say it online, or one of us will say it on Twitter or on air, and then we're like, oh shit, we need to do that now, don't we? Okay, let's do it. Let's have this multiplayer stream of this game. Let's go this way. Let's have this
Armello tournament that I was going to do, and then figured out I don't know how in the world I could possibly do this.
I'm still up for that, don't get me wrong.
I like the game, but I cannot figure out for the life of me of how to set it up. So that didn't happen. Also, after the stream, Outstar, I'd like you to inform me of these ideas you're talking about, because as I'm aware of, we have nothing planned for the future.
No, we do have Megapieman, but you're not reading me when I'm writing to you ever. You're only
because when I go on Skype, there's 300 messages.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like Megapieman is coming on, and you guys have no ideas, and there are no plans. There are 300 messages about new ideas. I didn't read them.
Okay. I think we'll move swiftly on, because I'm aware we've got about half an hour left, and we've got quite a number of questions to get through. Obviously, this being our first one, people are quite excited and they want to ask us quite a lot. Lockwolf NL, which I think might be Nightwolf in chat. I'm not quite sure. Says
you just said Lockwolf NL's question. You're on the mark.
No. He's got several. Don't worry about it. We're going to go through them. Says, question for ScreamingJoypad. What is a software entomologist? Now, this is something that's on my Twitter profile. A software entomologist is an entomologist, somebody who studies bugs. I study software bugs because I'm a software tester by trade. There you go. Question answered. Next one is, are there any plans or ideas to try and get any sort of preview news about things happening behind the GOG scenes? Yes, absolutely. That is definitely on the agenda, as mentioned on the GOG forums for this actual GOGcast announcement. It's just a case of we need to know when the GOG staff people are 1, free, 2, able to talk about what they want to talk about, and 3, able to actually appear on the GOGcast. After that, after all of those things are confirmed and we know it, then we'll get people on and they'll start talking about things. Because like Ada said on the forums earlier today, there's an awful lot of stuff people want to do with both GOG, the homepage, Galaxy, games, everything. There's loads of people internally who want to do a load of really cool things. They're just not all of them are going to be realized, or not all of them are going to be realized soon. So it's a case of, you know, they don't want to turn around and say, hey, feature X is going to be coming to GOG Galaxy. And then in a year's time, if it's not come out, it's not because it's not been worked on. It's just because other stuff has gone up the priority list. It's just kind of how software and business work. But that being said, you know, we will definitely be having GOG people on the GOGcast at some point. They better do anyway. Now we've gone to the trouble of setting it up, they better do.
You made the mistake in saying that we don't want to say anything's going to happen in case it doesn't happen. Yep. You said something's going to happen in case it doesn't happen.
Absolutely. I'm the master of painting myself into a corner.
The plan is to hopefully have GOG people on here. We'll see how it goes.
Yes. Absolutely. That is my plan. That is my vision. But then again, I'm not, you know, I can't make things happen. I can just sort of say, hey, it'd be really cool if we did this, you know. Okay, moving swiftly on. Mark1642 says, I'd love to know a bit more about behind the scenes, either group scheduling / planning or individual prep / setup. Also, how does the stream team prefer to have feedback about their streams, positive or constructive, if any? Oh, and another one, how does the team prevent stream fatigue and burnout? Right, so in regards to like scheduling and planning and individual prep and setup, I think scheduling and planning is probably going to be Outstar's domain, so I shall pass over to Outstar.
I just want to say about behind the scenes, and I want to take revenge right now. The behind the scenes for me looks like that. I wake up in the morning, I check out my email, and suddenly I have 25 emails from MegapiemanPHD saying they cross.
That's because
25 emails, because yeah, we do have this schedule when we try to like we have huge freaking pile of documents which we have access to, and we can you know, add comments to that if someone sees that, for example, there is a game that we are planning to play but it is not released or something, then we can put the comment, and this way I have to get all the emails with the comments because I have to see if there's something wrong. So I have the email notification on for all the comments to the documents we're doing. And MegapiemanPHD thought it's a very great idea to edit every post made by the frogs to add comments.
I didn't know they sent you emails when I put anything in there.
You know, emails or not, we really do try to be very professional about this document. Like most of the people actually take the stuff serious what we do. So that's a behind the scenes look. So we talk with each other. I
thought I was harmless.
We take this document to try to align ourselves, you know, to make a good streaming plan, and you know, really try to do this a little bit professionally.
Yeah. Basically, we all the time, all the histories you guys hear from time to time from streamers about what other peeps said and stuff like that. It's all coming from the magical green room thingy, which we have. It's a place where we all gather and talk. And
it's a beautiful place.
It's a place full of terrors and terrible things.
It's not that bad.
So every day I try to, because of course it's my job, right? So I try to catch up with everything. And imagine waking up in the morning and the first thing you have to do is read through 1,400 messages, from which half of them is MegapiemanPHD being really hyped at night and posting one word in one line saying, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Hey guys, how are you doing? How are you doing?
You see, yes. That's why you have the blue screen and that's why you're the boss.
You guys are on a different plane of existence than I am. So when you're awake...
Whoa. Other way around, mate. Other way around. You are on a completely different plane of existence to us.
Anytime I want to talk to anybody about anything, nobody's ever there to have a conversation with because they're all asleep. So I have to converse with myself sometimes, and it's depressing and saddening. when I look at Skype and like nobody's responded to anything I said because they're all asleep, and I'll be asleep when they wake up and read it, so I'm not going to read their response.
Of course, yeah, but basically the most important thing about this message that Mark sent was the fact about the criticism about the stuff that we do. We actually do take every word of chat super seriously. It's like we are crazy about it. When someone is like saying that something is not really cool or something changed to worse, we are like crazy about it. So when you're writing something and you are just not really super sure that you want something to be changed, better not write, because we want to change it to make things better.
Absolutely. In fairness, and just backing that up, I think chat has a much bigger impact on the team and also the way we kind of do things on a day-to-day basis than it probably realizes. And I say then it probably realizes because it could be some random person, it could be a community member that we've known for years who just says, I don't like this is crap. And we're just like on the surface we can sort of be like, then we'll take it into consideration, and behind the scenes we're just sort of like, he said it was crap, what are we going to do, how are we going to change this, we need to do something. And even then it can be just somebody just turning up, a random person who goes, hi everyone, how you doing, and then people welcome them with open arms, and they're just like, well, this channel's not very good, is it? See you later. We're like, oh no, what are we doing wrong? Let's do something. Oh shit. So then it causes like 2 sleepless nights just to try and figure out how can we make this better. And I know we shouldn't care, like not sounding harsh, but we should care less than we actually do. But we can't, if that makes sense. We all pour our hearts into this. So I don't know. I think probably in regards to
you shouldn't care, it's harder to actually not care.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like, and this is coming from someone who used to get paid to be cynical.
Yeah, no, and it's really like you get a lot of cool feedback, a lot of this was a great stream and stuff, but it's like this one comment, so that wasn't very good. It's that comment that drags you down completely.
Yeah, because you're putting yourself out there at the end of the day, aren't you?
Hang on, Mike.
Yo,
you said, if I can call you Mike, I don't know if I'm allowed to call you that on the internet, or if you're only allowed to use screen names.
It's too late about that now. Get over with it.
I'm wearing a jumper with my name on. What do you think?
Cynical. But you're also British, so does that mean you used to be the cynical Brit? You used to be Total Biscuit?
I can neither confirm nor deny this.
Thank you. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Let your conspiracies thrive amongst yourselves.
Okay, there you go. Moving swiftly on. I think I think Outstar's probably the best person to answer how we would prefer criticism and feedback.
Yeah, of course. Just be very, very strict about it. Actually, I had a lot of conversations with people from the chat. So when those people are here, then waving to you, of people who had actually the constructive criticism in the past. And I'm really into hearing, opinions, because it's always really cool if we can actually hear that there is something wrong instead of just, the things are not how they used to be. And we have to think, it's like in a relationship, it's like in a love relationship with a woman that is not telling you everything. And you have to think,
does she have
something is wrong. Yeah, something is wrong. So no, it is very, very awesome for us if we can get the constructive criticism, because of course, if you are getting hundreds of positive comments about you, and maybe it's just me, but I guess it's everyone. If you get 100 positive comments about yourself and then one comment that is negative, you will only think about this negative one, and you will ignore all these positive things you heard, and you will only think about what did I do wrong to actually trigger this comment. So it's very, very important to hear what's actually wrong. So I was always encouraging everyone to write to me if you have any ideas on what we can include on the channel, what we can change. Of course, we can't, change everything. We are not wizards. We can just, make this different thing. But I think it's actually we changed a lot in the past year. Stuff changed so much. If you can compare to what happened a year ago here, it's like it's a huge difference. So yeah, and also of course about the behind the scenes, because I forgot about the most important thing, about the mods. Because the mods are the vital part of the stream team, and they are very important. They actually have this mod debate hall themselves, which is the when you have a green room. Green room is a place which is a hell, and people die in here. When you go to the mod debate hall, everything turns abstract, and you actually don't really die because there's no death anymore. So yeah, the mod debate room is the place where there's everything in there, and it's like Reddit meets 4chan meets the worst things on earth. So yeah,
we have some of the greatest conversations you could possibly ever have on the internet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that's really creepy also because I try.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, sometimes we tweet
you guys
out.
are missing out, so you should try to become a mod so you can fill in.
Genuinely, some of those
Yeah,
conversations are very, very random, but it's always enjoyable just to flick through. Like if there's, I don't know, there's normally about, after a weekend, about 1,500 comments on the green room, like the proper streamer green room, and there's normally about 3,000 comments or 5,000 comments on the mod debate room because it's literally just used as a chat room by people rather than, oh, I need to stream here, oh, I can't stream here, can somebody do Moobot for me, that sort of thing. It's just a generic chat room basically, but some of the stuff that they come out with is tremendous, absolutely. Also, my heart does genuinely go out to all of the mod team. I just want to say huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for every single modder that we have on our team.
Yes, our mods are fantastic, and I appreciate you with putting up with all my crap.
I appreciate you putting up with all the Megapowerman's crap as well.
Just after I saw the chat for a moment, it reminded me of a situation that can actually just somehow make you guys imagine how the mod debate hall looks like. I remember a very huge political conversation which made people almost kill each other with knives, and people just saying like, oh, do you really think that you're an awful person, and people just trying to snap themselves with their jaws and just eat each other's ears. And then Parangate comes in and says, I think I've lost my tweezers. I don't know what my tweezers are. I don't know if they were tweezers, but some kind of item, a very vital item to leave. And she lost it. And she told that on the chat, and everyone was like, oh, can we help you? Maybe you lost it in there. Maybe it was actually under your desk. Maybe you can check in there. And everyone is suddenly, in the penguin mod. Everyone is loving each other. So yeah, this is what happens.
We are one big lovely family at the end of the day. We can't, even if we wanted to get rid of each other, we probably couldn't.
For better or worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I think talking about stream fatigue, that's probably going to be a question that's, well, I'd say probably best suited to Memories in 8-bit, because I think he probably, one, suffers from stream fatigue a few times, but two, probably has the best coping mechanisms. Now, myself, personally, I have found the best strategy for stream fatigue is not streaming. So I can't find a better one than that, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, Memories, have you got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's very strange. Like when I started, I didn't really stream all that much on my personal channel, and just streaming for GOG was sometimes very stressful. And I was like, I can't stream on my channel at all. But why would people then be interested in my channel? I always ask them to follow. And if I don't do anything, so what's the point? But I noticed that I'm getting a lot more relaxed also streaming on my channel, because I feel a little bit more relaxed. I can stream in my own pacing, which of course I can do, on my own times, on my own terms, on my channel a little bit more. It's more for the psychological thing, but it feels more liberating. Yeah, sometimes it helps just to not stream if you don't have the day for it. And if you have like your channel, you can really cut it short. You just stream an hour or so, and it totally works. But with our schedule, we have to kind of on GOG.com, we have to kind of like make this program happen as it does. So it is, yeah, it is on streaming on my channel is very liberating. So, and sometimes it helps to not stream at all. Sometimes that's exactly what I don't need, not streaming at all. Sometimes I have to stream to actually feel better about streaming. And it also, it's also feedback which you get, may it be from chat, when I say like, I just don't feel up for streaming, and then suddenly people tweet about that, tweet a response to that, say like, oh, please feel better again. Yeah, and that helps already. Or just talking with other streamers, how do you feel about that when you feel this way? How do you tend to that? How do you solve that? And people start talking, and you feel better about yourself then already. And I don't say there is any general approach to this for me. Unfortunately, I wish there was, because it would make my life so much more easy.
There's one kind of agenda we have, which is, I think, the best way to prevent people from burning out. It's that after a year of this channel being in this group we have in here, we know that it's not a good idea. It's never a good idea to stream when you're not feeling well, and when you don't really feel that it's a good thing to do, and if you don't have a mood, and you know that the stream will not improve your mood. Because we all had these streams, I think, like all of us, that we were not feeling really well, and we were kind of in a bad mood or in a rush, and it was always, maybe people didn't see that really, and audience was still happy, but we were feeling like it was a failure somehow. So we learned that it's actually really good to just sometimes take a rest and don't worry about it. When the new schedule was introduced, people were like, really working hard to make the schedule happen and to actually fill up every day. And it quickly burned up some of us, and we decided that it's probably not a good idea to just force ourselves to fill all the empty slots and just let go, because it's not really that we have to stream all the time, especially when we don't feel like
24/7, 24/7.
Yeah, so Megapieman was the one helping us all the time by taking all the slots and not feeling at all burnt out, but then hating all the games on the other hand.
Yeah.
I find it odd. I can't say I've ever actually burned out on streaming. And I think the reason for that is because we do the 2-hour blocks.
Yeah.
There are some people out there who stream like 12 hours a day. And I'm like, you're freaking nuts.
Yeah, Outstar does that.
I don't know that would stream for that long.
I've done that.
The 12-hour blocks, it's enough time to, get into something, but it's not so much time that you get tired of it. Unless it's like an old CRPG.
I knew that was coming. I knew something like that was coming. No, I've got to admit.
Why. I like GOG, but I'm getting to the point that I'm starting to think I don't like games in general.
As long as you don't lose that, don't lose that mentality and just keep streaming for us. That would be awesome, because basically you're like our variety act. Every now and then we'll just sort of wheel you onto stage and goes, "Here's the man who doesn't like video games."
Tomorrow I'm streaming a freaking soccer game from 1996.
I cannot bloody wait.
But I would like to add to that. It's not just the 2-hour blocks. It's also and that harks back into this whole behind the scenes thing. It's like, yeah, and that scheduling this whole thing. Claim a game, select a game, and stuff like that. That can be hard as well, especially if you can't play all the genres or you don't want to play all the genres. And doing the calendars, doing the tweets, doing the schedule. The schedule is all right. Making sure that works, and installing the game, setting it up, configuring it. Playing it a little bit if you haven't played it before, because I don't really like to go completely blindly into a game. Maybe I just played like 2 steps and made sure the controls work. That's what I do as a blind stream. But still preparing this a little bit. So if I do that comes on top of that. So for one stream of 2 hours, there is at least 1 or 2 hours of preparation into that.
Oh, maybe even more sometimes. I mean, a lot of people
sometimes more.
Professional streamers will sit there and play something like, I don't know, Rust or H1Z1 for 15 hours a day or something like that. And that's fine if they can do that. But doing a variety channel, I mean, I do, I used to do 2 streams a week, and doing 2 streams a week was fine because it'd be 2-hour slots. But there are people on the channel who, like Memories himself, he would do streaming basically every day some weeks, and not only was he streaming every day, he was streaming release streams, he was streaming promo streams, and these are games that not only you would have to pick but ask for, download, install, practice, that sort of thing. And this all takes up time. So yeah, professionally streaming can be fine because you're streaming. 1, you should always stream a game that you love if you're going to do professional streaming, and 2, you should always sink quite a few hours into it. But getting to the point where you're like, oh, I'm playing this game now because I really want to, but I need to find time to practice it. I need to find time to, you know, make sure it works with OBS. I need to find time for this. I need to find time for that. And it's a delicate balance of that. Anyway, I'm going to... Oh, sorry. Did you want to finish?
And then sometimes have the scenario where you want to stream a release stream and you're like, okay, I'm streaming in an hour.
Yeah.
I still need the game. Oh, the game is not out on GOG. Great.
Yeah.
That
that has happened a couple of times.
That kind of stuff happens because, you know, sometimes things go wrong and you plan, you know, very neatly, but then things go wrong at some point and you're still worrying about how do I get this game to work like 5 minutes before the stream starts.
Absolutely.
Like that.
If I can, sorry about this, guys. If I can just interrupt really, really quickly, what I'm going to do just while we're talking is I'm going to set up a raffle because I realize we've only got about 8 minutes left. So while you guys still talk about, yeah, exactly, I'm going to ask the next question. Now, the next question is from Centeria, who's one of our fantastic modders. And basically he says, will you be doing any more multiplayer streams with the community playing different games instead of Unreal Tournament and Quake? Now, personally, I'd really like to see more kind of cooperative stuff. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but I'll hand this over to whoever speaks first, essentially.
Well, the reason why we do Unreal Tournament is because it's easy to do. A lot of the multiplayer games that are available on GOG.com, there's not many of them that are like big multiplayer games. You have a ton of people joining all over the place. And a lot of them are older games that may not necessarily work. Like, we've been wanting to do a multiplayer thing for one of the Worms games for a very long time, but none of them work. So that's what it mostly is with trying to do things with the community. Now, I did find out that that game we talked about earlier, Chaos Reborn, that has multiplayer and co-op. So you might be seeing a little bit of that in the future. I'm going to say now, and it's never going to happen. But it's not. We would like to try to do more multiplayer stuff and like to do more multiplayer stuff with the community. It's just trying to find the game that we can do, and the easiest one is like Unreal Tournament 2004.
Yeah, the thing is, some people actually don't realize how much work it is to organize a multiplayer stream and to make it actually work. If not for DZ, who was such a cool person to actually set up servers for us for Quick Free and UT, it would be probably totally terrible because, you know, guys, most of us have routers that have some ports blocked and stuff doesn't work properly. So, for example, I remember we were playing some multiplayer Heroes of Might and Magic, for example, back in the days, but I tried to do the same with 8-bit and it didn't work because of ports or something. So we actually scheduled that, you know, everything was in the schedule, but then it was not working, and it's a little bit hard to make most of the old games work in the multiplayer. We had so many plans. We planned to do the multiplayer Mortal Kombat 3, for example, on the VPN, but it was not working. And all the other games, which can be, you know, of course, the fault of our internet connection, of our ISP, but it's a pretty weird way to do. And of course, it's not just about watchers on the channels, you know, to get a lot of watchers, but it's sometimes actually there is some kind of a connection between when you have a slot in the prime time and you're doing something there and the views are pretty low, then you have to like think to yourself like, well, maybe this is not what people want to watch. And when we were doing the multiplayer stuff with the community, I know that a lot of people from the community were actually joining us, but those were not like 20 people. Those were just, you know, 10 people, for example, joined us. And we were watched by the 50% of the usual amount of people, for example. So I'm not sure what was wrong, you know. So we have to actually find out what to do to make multiplayers more fun. And I know that you guys love the things we did in the past with the Unreal Championship. I think it was one of the highlights of the whole history of GOG.com channel.
Yeah, I really did.
It was amazing. And but the amount of work that went into organize it in this way took us few months to do that each time. So whenever we are not putting that amount of work to any of the championship tournament or a multiplayer game, it's just not working. So it's a pretty weird thing to do. But yes, I do have plans to organize more multiplayers because I consider them the most fun you can have on Twitch. but it has to unfortunately take a lot of time. So I think it was the mistake before to schedule a multiplayer slot weekly. So I have to apologize to you that the multiplayer slot is not happening anymore, and it won't be a weekly slot because it was a real pain to organize every week. So we have to have more time for that. So yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, I think the answer is yes. We definitely want more multiplayer games. We just have to know what's going to work and what's going to be fun for people, and also organizing that
also what you own.
Yeah, exactly. Also what you own. Also organizing that is going to be a bit of a stressful sort of experience anyway for anybody who kind of undertakes that, which is usually Outstar in fairness. So yeah,
we've done Armello a couple of times, and last time we did it, we were struggling to find a fourth person. We're trying to pull in chat, but nobody in chat owned it.
Right, I see. Well, yeah, like I said, it's just all planning at the end of the day. So I'm going to burn really quickly through the rest of the questions. There's only a couple, and one of them is from Pierre and Jay directly to myself, and that basically says, to ScreamingJoypad, how do you feel about the Crocs possibly being taller than you? There are a lot of people taller than me. I'm only 6'4". And Classical says, will there ever be a good Knight Rider TV show again? I don't think so, personally.
Because the first one wasn't that good.
Oh, snap! We did have a couple of questions in chat. Unfortunately, we're not going to have time to do those. So, RIP chat questions. But yeah, if you want to send us some questions for the GOGcast, keep an eye out on my Twitter. That's at ScreamingJoypad on Twitter. Basically, what I'll do before each GOGcast, probably the day before or the morning of, I will send out a quick tweet basically saying, reply to this tweet in order to ask your podcast GOGcast questions. And then basically we'll field as many as we can during the GOGcast. And that's your lot. That's the first official episode of the GOGcast. I am just going to close Moobot right now. Not close Moobot. I'm going to draw a winner. Oh, I was going to have like a drum roll sound effect, but I've just ended up tapping my desk instead. So let's have a quick look. Sherry and Redake has won the raffle. So announce winner in chat.
You're kidding.
Obvious fix. Obvious fix. Anyway, I think it's a really good time to wrap things up. Now, please stay tuned for... Oh, I just turned my background off for no apparent reason. Please stay tuned for the next show, which is I want to say the release party for Matt Cat Plays' new album. So our very own Matt Cat Plays, who's one of our exceptionally talented streamers, does chiptunes, and he basically had an album release very recently, but today, in fact. So definitely check that out. Definitely stay tuned for it. But that's pretty much it. We're 2 minutes to 11 o'clock GMT. Don't forget to tune in next week for the next episode of GOGcast. Same GOG time, same GOG channel. So it will be Thursdays at 9 p.m. GMT. Probably the same people, probably different people. I will definitely be here. We'll still be giving stuff away. Don't forget to tune in. I'd like to thank absolutely everybody who has joined us. MegapiemanPHD, Memories in 8-Bit, and Outstarwalker. Thank you so much, all of you. Come on, get hyped. Come on, say yes.
Before we go, if you have any feedback, please send it to twitter.com/MegapiemanPHD. You can also go to youtube.com/MegapiemanPHD and twitch.tv/MegapiemanPHD.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget. Everybody's.
It was absolutely amazing. The first episode. I thank you that I could be here, and I look forward of being here at some point in the future again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, thank you again.
.com/coldheartsgame.
Yes, don't forget to check out Cold Hearts Game, which is being developed by these two miscreants to my right. As you're looking at it to my right, which basically is a dating simulator about dating refrigerators. Yes.
It's 6 o'clock. Yes. We gotta end it.
I know. We're out. Right. We're gone. See you later. Wave to the camera, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.